UFC Fight Night Muhammad versus Bonfim is upon us, guys. And let's just address the elephant in the room, guys. I have glasses a little bit ugly today. I'm still a little bit handsome, strong, but guys, I had something wrong with my eye last night. I actually thought, I thought it was like another cut in my cornea because I had that before. So, I can't be wearing contact until that feels better. But that's not stopping me from recording this banger of Fight Night. First of all, let me just say this before I get into this. Too much WMMA on one card. I'm not, bro. I'm all for fucking WMMA fights, bro. They have Wei Lee or some Asian baddies, but brother, I'm not jacking this Fight Night. These ones are not on paper, they're not even hard picks either. Kelton Souza versus Ariane. I want to keep these simple and quick. I'm gonna go Kelton Souza. Ariane is coming off a loss. If she doesn't show me anything good, I think Kelton Souza could use a lot of weapons and she could beat her comfortably. So I will go Kelton Souza from this one. I'm going to keep it pushing because I don't want to spend too much time on this. Who really cares, guys? Are you guys going to over here be crying about, Kenny, dude, do fucking film work on fucking WMMA, man? Shut up. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing film work on WMMA, bro. And I didn't watch film on them at all. Next up, I'll be so honest, bro. I don't even want to lie to you guys, bro. All I know is this person's making their UFC debut. They look like a creative NPC player, and I'm going to go her to win because she's a huge favorite against Yunzi Duben, who I've seen fight before, and she lost the one fight I saw. But yeah, they both look, it looks like it's going to be a heavy striking match, bro. Like I said, I'm not going to act like I'm an expert with these. I don't really care or know too much about these fighters. I only seen one of them fight. Haven't even seen this Chaves girl fight, but she's won. So, and she looks, honestly, she looks like she'd grapple because she looks like she has a weight advantage. If it's striking only, it's 50-50. Just don't put money on these fights as a grown man. But I'm going to go Chelsea Chaves, bro, because why not? All right, some people we know, and this one's actually an interesting one. Jordan Leavitt versus Yannis and Brito. Leavitt's been looking good lately, I feel like. And I feel like Brito's been looking a little bit hit or miss. But I feel like he's always going to be a tough fight for anyone. My thing with Leavitt is I feel like his grappling has improved to a point where if he does get you down, I actually have comfortability in him controlling you and going for finishes. Brito's not the easiest guy to take down, but I have seen him get kind of melted sometimes through the wrestling. And then as far as the striking goes, I am going to probably give Brito a slight edge because I feel like he hits with more impact than Jordan Leavitt. But even Leavitt's striking been looking a little bit improved. This one's a close one. It might come down to grappling. And if it does, I think Leavitt's going to win. But is Brito going to just put too much pressure on him? I don't know. I don't know. This one's a hard one for me, where I cannot lie. This is kind of a hard one for me. I think rounds might come down to impact of strike. And if that's the case, I might lean Brito, who's probably the underdog in this one. I might lean Brito. But I got to think, man. Oh, I don't know if it's a safe one. It's not a safe pick, but I think that if it comes down to moments that steal rounds, I feel like Jordan and Brito might be more likely to land something a little bit more impactful than Jordan Leavitt. Jordan Leavitt is not really known for his heavy hands. He mixes up pretty well, but so does Brito. I'm going to go, I don't know if he's the underdog or the favorite, but I'm going to go Jordan and Brito for this one. I think he might get it done against Jordan Leavitt. It'll be close. It'll be competitive, but I think he's enough to beat Leavitt, who is pretty game. Another WMA fight, of course, dude. We got Priscilla Cachoeira versus Chelsea Chandler, who's hit or miss. All these fighters are hit or miss, bro. Horrible records. They're just putting too much WMMA. I'm not even trying to turn this into a rant video, guys, but there's too much WMMA on one card, bro. Oh, this is going to be dumb. Cachoeira is so mid, but she throws with impact, I'll be real. Chelsea Chandler is kind of just mid as well. Doesn't really do anything that sticks out on paper to me. I don't know who I'm going to pick for this one, guys. Honestly, I have no idea. They're both coming off of losses. They're both taller for the division. Chelsea Chandler is probably going to be running, using her length maybe. Where I feel like Cachoeira is going to just be high guard and trying to get in and throw. She might land the biggest shots. Probably going to be a lot of clinching like there is in a lot of WMMA fights. But I feel like the grappling advantage is going to favor Chandler slightly. Both may mix it up. My gut's trying to tell me to go Chelsea Chandler, but I honestly just don't know. This one's a stupid one, dude. Fuck it. I'm just gonna follow my gut. I'm gonna go Chelsea Chandler. It's a WMA fight. Like I said, if you're a grown man putting money on this, don't do it. I keep looking over and I keep realizing I just got a retwist, so my forehead's kicking. That shit's kicking. Bruno Silva, otherwise known as Joshua Van's son, versus Edgar Chariez. Edgar Chariez, I always think about his UFC Noche fight. Chariez is he's weirdly durable, even though he gets hurt sometimes. And then as the fight progresses, he actually gets better. Chariez is one of those people that, like, even if he loses the first round and like gets rocked, he's never really gonna wilt. He's going to keep coming. He is coming off a win. I did pick him in that last one, and he did prove me right. Brito Silva's always getting thrown against young guns who are just, like, really talented. You know, he finally gets somebody who's not, like, a young gun, you know, who is mildly talented. Like, it's not like they both have good boxing. I think Chariez, on paper, his boxing might be objectively slightly better than Bruno Silva, but I think Bruno Silva can go in there and just make it ugly. You know, he can mix in the grappling, mix in the clinching. And if he can do that, I think he gets the win. Of course, his height's always a big thing in fights, and he's also going to be giving up a lot of reach and height against Chariez. Chariez, if he keeps it pretty, could probably outpoint Silva, but Silva is known for, like, ducking his head, throwing those overhands, and kind of making it ugly, using the wrestling when he needs to. Chariez has pretty good takedown defense, nothing exponential. Niggas saying just words that sound with E. Nothing great that I've seen, but I think Silva could be enough because he might just land something big and go to the clinch and maybe take him down and then just make Chariez work. And if he could do that, I think he's going to beat Chariez. So I'm going to go Bruno Silva, probably by decision, and I think he's going to beat Edgar. Marcus McGhee, the guy who took a round off of Peter Yan versus John Yannis, who's reminds you just of NPC for some reason. Just look at his generic ass body, just a generic body. Of course, the thing with this is going to be a primary striking match. I already know that. And I feel like McGhee, who wins a round off of Peter Yan, man? Nobody, you know. It's going to come down to, like, impactful shots in this one. And I just think McGhee hits with more power and more thud in his pop. And he's just coming off a fight against Peter Yan. So he's, like, accustomed to fighting at the highest level at this point. He just fought the best. So at this point, no one's going to be as talented as primary strikers. And he's going against another primary striker, John Yannis, which is why I think McGhee should be able to get it done. I'm going Marcus McGhee. He might go like points. Like, Yannis might be a little bit durable, survive till the end. But I got McGhee by KO points. I don't expect too much wrestling in this one. I think it's going to be more of a stand and bang, and that's why I'm going to favor Marcus McGhee. Pretty simple for that one. Next up, Matt Schnell versus Alessandro Costa. Costa's hit or miss for me, but Matt Schnell is miss or miss most of the time. Like, Matt Schnell consistently shows me, like, never put money on me. I kind of not good at fighting. That's what Matt Schnell shows me every time he shows up. And I just think skill for skill, Costa happens to be better. And then Schnell as well, which is why I'm leaning in. But, like, Costa's just short as hell, isn't he, bro? He's not the tallest guy. Schnell's probably going to be using his reach, but I still think that Costa's going to have that high guard and make it ugly. And he's going to be winging those overhands. I think he's going to do enough to win. If there might be some grappling actually in this one, I wouldn't be surprised if either guy shoots just to create some chaos or a lot of clinching maybe. But I think as far as the striking is concerned, Matt Schnell, he might throw more output on paper, but I actually don't think he's just that good. Like, he just finds ways to lose. So I reckon he's going to find a way to lose to Costa, who's he's objectively, I feel like via eye test, Costa is the better pick here. So I'm going to follow the eye test narrative, and I'm going to pick Costa to beat Schnell in this one. All right. Main card. We got Iwu, who's back, who's the Polish guy who with the 100% finish rate, I'm pretty sure. And I feel like a lot of them have come in the first round against Junior Tafa, who is coming off a win. You know, Junior Tafa, oddly enough, guys, when he loses, it's 99% of times more because of grappling. I hope you guys know that. Like, when he loses, it's not because he's, like, getting, like, sparked out on the feet. It's really because of grappling. So, this is back down in light heavyweight. I know Tafa be bouncing from heavyweight sometimes into light heavyweight. I feel like it's hard to pick against a Polish fighter just because the amount of output he comes with in the first round trying to take your head off. But I know Junior Tafa is good. Like, when Junior Tafa is striking only, he actually looks pretty good. It doesn't turn ugly till he gets grappled, and he's not going to have to worry about that against Iwo. So I actually think this fight's more interesting than, like, the average person thinks. They might think Iwo just goes in there and walks through him. I don't think that's the case at all. It's a tough pick because a part of me wants to actually go Tafa for this one, especially he's running up momentum. He never comes off wins. He's finally coming off a win. He's a fucking coin toss fighter. You know, I know it's easier to go for the 8-0 guy, so I'm going to go for the 8-0 guy. Just because it's easier to do it, man. I'm going to go for it. Nah, it's a close one, though, because, like, I actually think Tafa has power. He's fought at heavyweight. He's fought bigger, stronger guys. You know, I was not the tallest guy. You know, Junior Tafa does have the height and reach advantage. It could be interesting, but I think the Polish guy might even get rocked, but I just think I was going to come back and just find the kill shot himself. Probably not going to go the distance because Iwo gets rocked too. Don't get it twisted. It's not like he's the only one doing the rocking. He be getting cooked some fights too before his finishes, which is why I also think it's going to be close. But I think it's just going to be a barn burner. It's going to end in knockout. I'm going to just lean Iwo, but I do think it's closer than the odds make it out to be and closer than what the records perceive. But I am going to go Iwo for the knockout win. Bryce Mitchell versus Santiago Luna. Yeah, when I was getting my retwist in today, brother, like a little bit, I watched some Bryce Mitchell footage and I watched from Santiago Luna. Both guys are good. I'm pretty sure Bryce Mitchell's a favorite, right? Yeah, he's a slight favorite. What I like about this fight, though, is that I think the underdog's actually going to win. I think Santiago, from what I saw, is going to win. Santiago has some pretty good boxing. He's not crazy. He's like 21. He's like 20. He's like a young dude. So he's a little bit green in that department, but his wrestling, he has a wrestling background. His wrestling's great, so I don't really think Mitchell's going to just go in there and out grapple him like the way he probably thinks he's going to do it. And then I feel like the striking only, I feel like Mitchell's a little bit more twitchy in his striking approach, does a lot of like feints, maybe like fakes like he's going to come with crazy pressure and then starts low kicking. But when he throws those low kicks, just opening the boxing exchanges, and I feel like Santiago Luna could exploit those openings. And I feel like it actually might be I don't want to say a primary striking match because I know Bryce Mitchell's going to wrestle. He'll probably lose some scrambles. Objectively, I actually think Bryce Mitchell's the better grappler, though. Like Luna might be able to stuff some takedowns and even score some takedowns himself, but I wouldn't play that game too long with Bryce Mitchell if I'm Luna. But I think when it is standing, because it's probably going to be standing a good amount of times, I can see Bryce Mitchell getting stuffed, forced to stand, and kind of getting put on him. I can see Bryce Mitchell getting finished. Mitchell's actually not that good. Like, his record's great, but he's not that good. Of course, he got finished by Silva, who's a great fighter, but it's just like what I see from his striking. His last fight was good, I guess. Like, he won that fight, but, anyone could beat bums. Like, Saeed, like, I was not surprised by that at all, watching Bryce Mitchell perform against people like that. I just don't think Santiago's a bot with bad endurance. Santiago's undefeated. I think he has ways to go. He's still young, but I don't think he should lose to Bryce Mitchell. I'm sorry. I'm going the underdog Santiago Luna, and I think he's going to put the beats on Mitchell like Dr. Dre. Could even finish him like by a knockout. I can see that happening. Maybe Mitchell gets a bit tired, but I'm going Santiago Luna for sure for that one. This one's a good fight, and it's closer than the odds make it out to be. We got Fares Ziam, who you guys know I've been glazing for a long time, versus Tom Nolan. Fares being 6'1" is used to being the longer ranger fighter sometimes. He's going against Tom Nolan, who's 6'3", and objectively on paper, it might arguably be the better striker. Who knows? If this was a striking only match, I actually think a part of me might be actually leaning Tom Nolan. I think Tom Nolan's kickboxing is great. I think the way he lands shots are crisp. I think he uses his length well. Some people are lanky but don't use their length. Tom Nolan is lanky and loses his length. So that's why I like his striking style, But I do think Fares has good grappling as well that people need to be aware of. Like, he'll take you down at the right moments, and he actually does a pretty good job with his top pressure and his top control, which could be problematic for Nolan, who does have good takedown defense, but when he is on his back, it's just hard to see him get up as much. And then Nolan also be attempting submissions sometimes off his back and stuff. So I don't know. This one's interesting, man. The odds are a little bit cool, but you guys know how much I back Fares Ziam. I've been doing it for a long time now. I think he's one of the best in the weight class. It's going to just be a tough ask for both guys, honestly, But I feel like even though Fares is a shorter fighter for like not the first time, but like he's not used to going against people who are like wicked tall. He has a couple times went against some lanky fighters, but I think Tom Nolan's the tallest. I could be wrong. It might be a little bit of adjustment period in the first round, but after that, I do think Fares is going to have the fight IQ, and he's going to know how to get the win. It's not going to be easy, but he's going to know, and he's going to find ways to get the win. So I think Fares Ziam is going to beat Tom Nolan. Nolan's actually not bad. I think people are underrating him, but I do think Fares should get the win in this one. So I'm going to go Fares Ziam, probably by but he can win by a lot. So I'm just going to go Fares Ziam. He can win by sub, points, or knockout. So I'm just going to go Fares Ziam for the win. Brendan Allen versus Edmund Shahbazyan. I watched a bit of footage when I was getting my hair a little bit done. Like, listen, Allen nearly killed fucking Marvin Victorian there. Allen looked pretty good in his last one as well. Edmund Shahbazyan coming off a quick finish in his last one. Shahbazyan, when he's confident, he is one of the best in the world. I actually believe that about him. There's a time he was supposed to be the next guy. Then he went on like a little bit of a losing streak and started he lost himself a bit. I feel like he's starting to believe in himself again and come back into his own, which is a good test now for Brendan Allen and vice versa, because I feel like they're both at their point that they want to start looking at that title. If Edmund beats Allen, he's gonna start being looked in the title picture, in my opinion. And if Allen beats Shahbazyan right now, it's a pretty good win, considering the strides Shahbazyan's made. I have noticed Shahbazyan sometimes struggles with wrestlers, like people who could wrestle, like Brunson. He struggled with him a bit. He lost at that fight. If you can mix something up with Edmund and show him different things, he kind of struggles. And I think Allen's a perfect one for that. As well as Allen's hands looked really good his last fight. He's starting to let his hands go. Against RDR, he looked good. Like, he lets his hands go more comfortably. His scrambles are good. His grappling is good. I just think he might be a little bit too well-rounded for Shahbazyan. Shahbazyan's not bad, but I don't know if he's ready for Brendan Allen yet, man. I know they're both at that point in their career, like it makes sense, but I just have a gut feeling Brendan Allen might get it done against Shahbazyan, so I'm going to go Allen for the win. It might be a competitive fight, but I just think Allen's riding confidence, and I think the grappling might be the deciding factor here. Like, just the mix, how you going to mix in the strikes to the grappling, I think Allen's going to do it better, so I'm going to go Brendan Allen for the win. Brings me to my main event, guys, where this whole fight card was made through Belal Muhammad and Gabriel Bonfim. I'll say this. Before, I watched a lot of footage while I was getting my hair done. Like, the retweet was like 2 hours long. Watch back Belal, JDM, watch some Belal, Ian Gary, watch some Bonfim versus I watched a lot of Bonfim fights. Some of them are against randoms, to be honest, in his upcoming, but I got a good gauge of his striking. Watched him against Randy Brown. Didn't really get too much from that because Brown is like a lot lankier than Belal. But Bonfim's a very sporadic, powerful striker. He has great low kicks. He moves his arms a lot. Like, he's very herky-jerky, which leads to him like landing a lot of output early on. But I've noticed he tends to gas. His one loss against Nicholas Dalby, which I did watch back during that, a little bit the retwist. He started well like he always does, but like Dalby pushed him to a later round. Like in rounds 2, you started to see Bonfim slow down. The thing about Bonfim is like he's so sporadic and so like heavy on his output, but he does tend to use too much energy at the wrong times. If this was a 3-round fight, I think Bonfim could beat Belal, though, because I can see him just landing bigger shots than Belal. Belal lacks power. Belal gets in a lot of fights where, like, sometimes even if it's tit for tat in the striking, the other guy striking objectively just looks better because Belal's not doing enough or not hitting hard enough, to steal moments. Whereas Bonfim can steal moments. So if it's a 3-round fight, I'll go Bonfim winning, and maybe losing the third. But I think Bonfim could have 2 strong rounds in him. But if he fights Belal like he fights other people, he's gonna just gas. Like, he can't have that output that he usually has, especially in a 5-round fight with Belal Muhammad. But I think he naturally just has to fight like that because his best weapon is his power. And there's also a chance he can knock out Belal, so I actually don't even want him to change his fight style. That's probably his best shot. Belal's been there with some great strikers, but I do think Bonfim is a pretty explosive, more explosive than a lot of opponents that Belal's already fought against. So it's a different look for Belal. 19-1, that's a great record, good experience on him. But Belal is Belal. Like, Belal's striking is not bad. It's just that like it's not impactful, which creates for weird rounds. They both grapple really well, which is the hard part about this. But I've seen Belal when he goes against other grapplers like Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns. He does have some success striking only with them, but Sean Brady isn't as powerful as Bonfim, and so is neither is Gilbert Burns. So he might be able to outstrike other grapplers, but how are you going to outstrike Bonfim? Like, early on, how are you going to outstrike Bonfim? You're probably not. But later, rounds 3, rounds 4, round 5, you probably will be overwhelming Bonfim. And then I think Belal's takedown opportunities actually open up as the fight elongates, bro. I think that Bonfim will be shelled up a bit against the fence by the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then Belal will be stealing moments. Even early, after the first round, I think Bonfim's going to clearly win the first round. Even after the first round, the second round, I think Belal can start opening up and being more comfortable, using his body kick, using his 1-1-2. Belal is fundamentally all right at everything he does. But I think it's this pace that he could weaponize here against Bonfim, who in his only loss in his professional career showed he's able to will if you put pressure on him. If Belal shows up like Belal, I do think Belal Muhammad has what it takes to beat Gabriel Bonfim. It's not going to be an easy ask because the low kicks of Bonfim are going to be very problematic. The low kicks that actually destroy Belal's if Belal had some chinny legs, if Belal's legs are chinny, brother, I might a little bit switch my attitude, but I don't think Belal has chinny legs. His legs aren't chinny, he goes in there, he fights well. I don't think he's a chinny guy, his legs aren't chinny. Some fighters like JDM has chinny legs. I'd be like, I don't know, man. Because it's Belal, I seen him go against Ian Gary, and Ian Gary tried to stomp through his leg, and he was all right. So that makes me more comfortable in it. Since I don't think he's gonna just have immense leg pain and quit, and he switches stances pretty well, it just leads me to going Belal Muhammad off of just his experience and his endurance and his weaponized cardio. I think if he weaponizes his pace and cardio, he should overwhelm Bonfim, who's going to be very tough in the first 2 rounds. But I do see Bonfim not being able to fight at that output and that explosivity for 25 minutes long against Belal Muhammad. So my official pick is Belal. Remember the name Muhammad. If I had to do a lay, I hit it with a Belal Muhammad and Belal Muhammad, Marcus McGhee. And fuck it, we're going to throw Luna on that, Don. Yeah, we got an underdog. Luna, Marcus McGhee, and Belal Muhammad for their win. This is like my confident prediction. Maybe even Brendan Allen on that parlay if you're feeling it. But let me know what you guys think about this fight card. Let me know what you think about the picks. That's it for me. Go to bless. 2, 3, 4.